Well, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're here to discuss the Whirlpool Cambria top load washing machine. But before we do that, why don't we go ahead and look and see what's coming up at Encompass University over the next couple of weeks for the month of July. So let me go out here and share the screen. Boom. Okay. So here's what we have at Encompass University for the next couple of weeks. As you can see right here, just a second. Um, Today was stage one of the Vulcan locker ring system and the tools. That there's a continuation of that in the training center in Cincinnati. That is going to happen again tomorrow. It's an 8 to 12 class, so it's only a half a day if you're in the area. Then on the 16th, also there's an Easy Stock introduction to the app. Okay, so if I go in and I type in Encompass Easy Stock app, it will bring me right to it and it'll show me a breakdown of that. But this is a great little class. As you can tell, it's 9 to 10. It's only an hour. And if you're thinking about Easy Stock and using it to its full advantage, I would tell you to go ahead and be in that class there tomorrow. Sign up for it today and see if you can't go ahead and get that going on. Hang on just a second here. Let's go out of that. Okay. So I got to come on down here. Then if you look, we have the Hisense. That's the introduction to the seal system and repairing the R600A. That's at the Las Vegas training facility. There in North Las Vegas. That's on July the 16th also. That is an 8 to 4. That is a full 1-day class. Okay. Then we have at the Lawrenceville Training Center. This one cost. All the others have not cost you anything. There's a 2-day training. Lock ring seal systems, hands-on training. That is a 2-day class. So they're just trying to recoup the cost of everything. But that again is the 16th and 17th. So that will be tomorrow. So if you can get into that class, go ahead and get in it. I don't know if everyone's already very familiar and you've gotten certified, but this $500 class will get me certified. Then Hisense, the freestanding range lecture, that's on Las Vegas training facility. Once again, that's in North Las Vegas. That's on the 17th. That's an 8 to 11 class. And then it comes right back. And from 12 to 3, the same lecture, just another group that can come in. This is a popular brand, and they're going ahead and taking care of that. Then on Thursday, we have the Magic Chef commercial refrigeration and troubleshooting tips. I'm hoping that Nick from Magic Chef is going to be with me. I've tried to reach him. I'm still working on that. I have a day before I'll know. Then on the 17th, also from 12 to 1, we have a heat transfer and refrigeration cycle with Skill Cat's HVAC chick, Jennifer. Then on the 22nd, we have garbage disposal repair and installation. If you haven't had very much experience with a garbage disposal, if you've ever needed to change out a garbage disposal, know why I need to change out the garbage disposal. That's on the 22nd, and that is going to be, of course, from 3 to 4. That's on Tuesday. Okay. Then we have Easy Stock again. That's on the 23rd. That's from 3 to 4. That'll be a great one for you if you can't make that other one. Okay. Then on Samsung on the 24th, that will be my last class that I will do for you. And that will be on the Samsung RF 1800 refrigerator. We will also cover the dreaded ice maker for Samsung. We have some issues, but those are, if you do it properly, we can go ahead and get it all taken care of. Okay, so let me come back to this one. Hang on, I got to advance to the slides up here. Got to go. Interesting. Okay. So that one doesn't go in here. How did that get in there? Slide 3 and slide 4. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is an earth ground. You know, all of our plugs have an earth ground. I need to go out here. I need to look quick. Look, that's interesting. My whole slide presentation disappeared. Okay, if you'll give me just 1 second, I'm going to come back out here and I will get this taken care of. Oh, my Lord. I had this all set up, I thought. So let me find down here, Whirlpool. I apologize about this. It won't take me just a second if I can get this one to come out. Oh, this is a one-on-one. So Whirlpool. Well, I thought that I had this all done and all set up and done, and for some reason it just disappeared. So I would tell you that I blame them, but I can't blame them. Let's see. Interesting. One-on-one trainings. Microwave. Guys, I really apologize about this. How in the world this has just all of a sudden. Okay, I tell you what, let's do it this way then. I know one way a different way to skin a cat, and we can get this one taken care of. Okay. Let me get this one loaded up. Okay, I got it. Let's put this right here, and then we're gonna save copy, browse. Come on, and desktop. Okay. Now I can come back. Maybe. It's giving me a little bit of trouble here. Okay, that's that. I can come back out here. And let me grab this and go here. And go computer and desktop. Open. I really apologize about this. I'm trying to figure out what that is. So I'm going to remove all of this out. I'll get everything taken care of here, and we'll get this done. Okay. It's still thinking for a second. So while we're waiting on this to go ahead and finish, one of the things that we have with this Cabria washing machine is there's not a lot of issues except for whenever you're trying to. Here we go. Thank you. Okay. Okay. A stuck washer plate. This is the problem that's about 90% of what happens. Okay. For some reason, I have let's got to stop sharing. Okay, now we got it. So the washer plate is one of the main issues that you have. As you go around and you're good for probably the first year, you're pretty much okay. But then as the soap builds up into it and everything, and you get a whole lot of other buildup to the washer plate, it sticks. And if it's not too old, you can still get it off. But if it's not coming off, and we're going to go through several of the methods, if I can't get it off, my last resort is I have to go inside and go in and cut it off. And I have taught a class. The class that we had, I brought a washing machine that I had bought from a junkyard, and talk about getting it off. We ended up and we tried everything to get it off, including every method that we're going to talk about. But it had sat outside for about 6 months, the guy said. And whenever I got it in there, we weren't able to get any part of it off. So you're going to find some of those. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and jump right in with this. Okay. So what am I going to do? If you look right there on that red spot, that is a cap. Okay. So what I have to do is insert my flat bladed screwdriver. You can look, and there's a little place that I can pry that cap up, and it'll pop off. Okay. So I take my little flat bladed screwdriver and I can prise it up. Okay. Then I have a 7/16 bolt that is underneath that cap. Okay. So then I'm going to take my 7/16 wrench or socket. I am going to put it on, and I'm going to take that 7/16 socket all the way out. And then I'm going to grasp the side of the washer basket to keep it from turning while I'm taking the screw out. Okay. And then once I do that, this is, so one of the things that I'm going to talk about is citric acid. I can use citric acid to help loosen things up. And I'm going to, if you see right there, it's 1 to 1.5 cups. And whenever I add, I'm going to have to use boiling water. Okay. I'm going to fill the tub with it with that really, really hot. And then I'm going to start the cycle, let it agitate and drain, and then I can move along. Okay. The shoelace cord method. So what happens is I can get a shoelace underneath the corner on both sides, and I use 52-inch shoelaces, and then I'll run it under one side. Then I go to the opposite side where the agitator would have been, the shaft, and then I use that, tie those two together, and I try to pull that up and rock it and try to get it up. Okay. So after you run the washers, see if you can remove the wash plate by these normal methods, okay? If not, I'm going to have to use the shoestring twine method, okay? We're going to talk about that in the slides below. Then we have the screwdriver method. And then the last one is the airbag to remove the wash plate. The last option is to cut it off. And you have to break it out. Okay. So after I remove the cap, there it is again. Okay. Once I do that, it exposes it just like this. Okay. So this is the shoestring method. If you look, I have the shoestring where I've got it. Those are 52-inch shoelaces for a pair of sneakers. Okay. So I use the string. I'm going to do that because it's about 3 times as long as the washer. I start feeding it. I go to the corner. I lift up go to the spline, lift up on the spline, and I can work my way through, and I can get it to the very edge. Okay. Then I go to the other side. I lift that side up. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on that side. And I'm feeding that to the middle of the washer plate. And then I'm moving it about half the way around. Then I'm going to take the cord and I'm going to pull up on the washer plate to disengage it. Be careful when it releases, because I have had a technician tell me that he was using this method, and whenever he literally got it and it popped, it hit him right in the middle of the head because he was looking down at it, and it smacked him right in the head. So it hurt like the dickens. So, all right. So that is one of the methods. This is the shoestring method. Okay. Then I call it the trampoline tool. Okay. If you see right there, you can go on to Amazon, and you can buy these trampoline tool springs, and they are designed to be able to, for you to be able to put the trampoline, the little center around the trampoline. I can stretch the spring and pop them into place. So what I have done is I have gone. That's a picture of it right there, and that's what you get. But what you really want to do is you want to take that trampoline tool and take a grinder and grind it a little bit. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use the putty knife, and I'm going to pry that up on the side of the washer plate. I'm going to insert that tool into the washer plate. I'm going to, of course, turn it 90 degrees and move the tool into the spline of the washer plate. Okay. So once again, I'm going to the spline. Okay. Repeat that to the other side. Then lift both handles. You have to rock it. That's the only way I've ever found that you can get it off, is to constantly rock it to get it to pop off. Okay. So you have to, once again, those splines, there's 3 splines. Okay. In the washing machine, there's 3 splines. So I may have to go from one and to the other side. That may not work, and I need to move over to the previous side. See, here's the splines right here. So I can go from one side over here on the left. Then I can use the one in the center right there to rock it, and then I may need to go over here to the right side of that spline and then try to rock that up. I'm just trying to get it so I can pop it off. Okay. If the plate still will not come off, I have gone and bought these little airbags. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret that I probably shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you. If you lock your keys in the car and you've got one of these little bags, you can prise you can prise your car door open enough for you to be able to lift it up and get in your car. Okay. But there are 5 of these bags. Okay. So what I do is I take and I grease these bags up. I usually use uh, I keep some oil in my truck with these, and then I can actually take and slide those in. All there's 5 sides that I slide it up under, and then I just keep pumping, and I try to get it so I can pump it. Now I will tell you that mine came with these tools. They're useless. They're plastic. But if I was trying to work on trying to get it my car thing door open, I could use those. Okay. Use the air bath. You can use dishwashing liquid to lubricate the bag. I prefer using a little oil, um, and then slide the air back around to the veins. You may need to, you've got 5 airbags, so you can put them all the way around and do that. So I just pump the bags up about 5 times to start with. Then I just keep inflating until I get it, until it pops off. Here's where you really have to be careful, because if this does break loose and pop up, it will pop up, and when it pops up, it pops. You hear it. You can hear a boom. Okay. If the washer plate does not come off, take boiling water and pour it to the center of the plate where the screw goes into. Be careful to watch as the cap will pop off. Okay. Whenever that, like I'm saying, be careful, because if I have put boiling water in on top of that, and then I've got it and it pops, I literally can do that. If none of these work, you may have to break the plate. Okay. Looks like we got 7 people in here. Who has actually had issues with this Cabria washer? Have you, and what have you found was your best way? Because mine, I try 2 things. I try the shoestring method. If that doesn't work, I go straight to my the ones where I have the little airbags. So somebody help me out here. Does anybody else have a different way before we get into a way that will work, but it's not? Yes, you're exactly like me. I'm the one. I've used those successfully, but I always try to, and I begin with the shoestrings. And if that doesn't work, I don't spend a lot of time. If I get out there and I can't pop that off, I use those airbags. Do you know of a different way that we're all technicians here? Do you know of a different way? Does anybody know of a different way other than what the 3 that we've mentioned? An air nailer? Yeah, that Perry, that's where we're going. If there's nothing, none of those have worked, I've done that. So tell me how you use an air nailer. That's interesting. So Perry, that is the very last thing that I have got to do, and the one that we had was so bad. It actually we had to take the grinder and cut 3 slots in it so that I could prise that off to even get the off the transmission. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep moving. Today we're trying to get through today so that we get it all done. But I really want to hear about this air nailer. Um, Oops. You're exactly right. Get a bolt that fits the air nailer, then place it in the center. It will vibrate until it pops loose. That's interesting. I had not thought about that, but you're right. That's the okay. That's a different method. But getting back, if I can't get it done with anything, I have to actually cut it. Okay. This is the one that we cut. You can see just how bad this one was. And this is with all of the the loosener. I actually on this one, since we didn't have a customer that we had, I actually had put some some stuff that you unstick bolts with, and literally it didn't help. You can tell that it kind of helped a little bit, but not. It's still, you can tell just how bad that is. Okay, there's another picture of it. Okay, and here's what the tub looks like. You can just look at this and see all the gunk in it. So this is all from years of too much soap right here. Okay, this is what this one looked like. Okay, so the next thing I've got to do after I do this is I have to be able to take the spindle off. This is where we cracked it. You can see whenever we finally got it, we cut it, we cut it, and then we had this spindle left. You can see the hammer where we just beat it. Okay, once we got it free, it looks like this. Now, here's the one thing that you really need to do whenever you're getting ready to put this back together. I already know that I have to have this. Excuse me. That I have to have this I have to have this spindle cleaned, but I want to clean everything. Take a little bit of extra time and clean this. So whenever I get ready and I want to put all this back together, clean it. And then you have to tell the customer, "Bam, you got to slow down on some of the detergent you're using." This is what it's called. This is what causes this. We took this one in class and took it all the way out, took everything out. And it was, we even broke the transmission down. Okay. So then here's the other thing. Use a spanner wrench to remove the spanner nut using a wooden or rubber mallet. Okay. With the wrench over the spanner nut. Place the wrench tap the wrench counterclockwise to loosen the nut. Just don't be dumb, because one of the young guys actually was banging it all crazy, and it ended up that he was tightening it, not loosening it, because he was not doing it counterclockwise. Okay. Once the nut breaks free, remove the spanner nut and then remove the nut by hand. Now, if something happens and I get out there and I can't get the spanner nut loose, how in the world am I going to fix that? Okay. I keep this in my toolbox in the truck. If I can't get my spanner nut, or if the guy before me didn't use a spanner nut and used a crescent wrench and banged on it and has now wallowed this out, I can go and get me a muffler clamp, tighten that muffler clamp down evenly, both side to side. Don't cut it. Don't put it and make it so that you can't, you've got it all whacked up. You need it. It needs to be done evenly. So I'm going to tighten it up on both sides. Then I'm going to start tightening it all the way down. Okay. So this is an exhaust clamp that you can get at any auto parts store. Okay. So I tighten that nut equally on both sides. Okay. When I get it so tight that I get it just as tight as I can. Okay. And it should look like this picture right here. Now, what I can do is I can take and hit the corners of this and break it free. Okay. Once the nut is loose, I can finish unscrewing it. And then I'm going to take the nut the rest of the way off. And then I've got to have another spanner nut. Okay. So whenever I get down and I see this, I will tell the customer I'm going to have to come back because I got to have a spanner nut because the person that did this before me kind of messed it up. Okay. Here's a better picture of that. This method, I have had good success with it. Okay. Has anybody else had this issue? Usually it's because the technician before you tried to use something and messed it up. They didn't use a spanner nut wrench. I will tell you that I am really old and I have an extension, and I have yet to see anybody else with the old extension that I have. So what happens is I have my Whirlpool spanner nut wrench. Okay, I put that down, I lock it down. Now my spanner, I have an extension that's about this long. It brings it up it brings it out of the tub, and I slide that down, and then I can just hold that and bang on it counterclockwise. And to me, that's the best way. Does anybody else have one of these extensions, or do you have something that you use something like that? I should have brought mine in out of my van. I mean, out of my truck. Okay. Doesn't look like anybody else has one. I'll have to find it because it's like I said, it's either in my truck or it's in my box that I keep all my tools in for Whirlpool washers. Okay, tub removal. Let's talk about this. Okay, there are two basic ways to remove the tub from the washer, and I'm gonna go down and call it the poor man's way and the professional way. Okay, the professional way is a $175 tool that makes you look very professional in the customer's eyes. Either way will get the job done. It's a matter of what image you want to portray. Okay. Both require you to disconnect the recirculation hose from the tub ring. Remove the tub ring. This is now a smaller area, and the easiest way to do it is to remove the 5 screws from the back, tape the lid down, and then lean the assembly on the back. Okay. The poor man's way. I cut a piece of 2x4 about 20 inches. Okay. Then I go to my truck and I get my scissor jack because my truck has a scissor jack in it. Then I place the 2x4 on the inside of the inner tub. Then I place the jack under that 2x4 and I turn the handle. When the tub releases, remove the jack and the 2x4, remove the tub, clean out, and clean the inner tub, and suggest the customer citric acid every 6 months to prevent that buildup again. This is what I try to tell customers. If you'll do this, you will eliminate all of this problem because I don't know about you guys, but um, it costs the customer more money for me to have to do this instead of them doing the citric acid every 6 months. Plus, the citric acid cleans the outer tub also. Okay, this is the poor man's way right here. Okay, you see exactly how it's done. The scissor jack. Now, my scissor jack has a hole right here that I can use a screwdriver and use that to raise it. You can make a. I took a. You can take a what you use for the golly to raise the jack. You can cut that off and use that in your drill. And I've seen a guy do that. I don't like this method. For me, I'm going to go ahead and spend a little money and buy the $175 because I know that I'm going to run into this. And it's not just Whirlpool; it's Maytag, it's all the other brands, and even some of the like the GEs. You can use it for it. Okay, here's the professional way. Okay, I remove the tool from the case, carry it into the customer's home. I remove the cap in the washer, install the tool under the center plate, turn the bolt lock clockwise until the tub pops, and then remove the tool and the hub. There's the tool and there's the hub. So there are those 6 bolts. All I'm doing is putting those in. I tighten those down, and then I take my wrench, my socket, put that down, and I just crank until the top tub pops. This is the best way. Like I said, whenever I bought it, it was $175 plus tax and shipping. But this makes me look professional. It doesn't make me look like I'm a fly by nighter. Okay, this is my professional way to do it. Okay, unlocking a lid switch. How do we unlock the lid switch? Okay, if you've done any work on a Whirlpool, I guarantee you have had to unlock the lid switch. Okay. Depends on the model. Try these methods. If there has been a power outage, follow the procedures. Okay. Remove the 5 screws on the back panel. Tape the lid closed. Lift up on the top panel. Depress the lid switch. Raise the lid, and after you untape it, then if I have to, I can always break it and replace it. I will tell you, if I break it, I've got to replace it, because if I break the lid switch and I can raise the lid whenever anybody can raise the lid, that is a super safety hazard. There was a $12 million lawsuit because a technician did that, and they got every dime because a kid stuck their arm in it while it was spinning, and it almost ripped his arm off. Okay. When the washer flashes LD on the display, put the washer on the face, remove the 2 clamps to the drain pump, check for other items in the tub. Okay. If you look at this picture, there's a sock in that tub. I actually have this is not a Whirlpool. I have one of the other brands that are very popular in my Connex that I keep parts that I'm gonna, or stuff that I'm gonna use, and it actually has a sock stuck in. I hope it's a sock. I never pulled it out, but it has something stuck in it, and it's hung up, and you can actually see it whenever you rotate the stuff around. And then I'm gonna have to raise that and take it out and get it out, because what I'm going to do invert anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that on my next trainings that I do, and we're going to disassemble it. And I got that from a relative, and they said we can't get this. We can't figure out what the problem is. All it is the pumps doesn't get any water. It doesn't get enough water. Okay. So I always check for something in the tub. I will tell you that I'm going to tell you how old I am. Most of the technicians today don't even recognize the part number. The part number is 385217. That is an old Whirlpool pump that I must have changed 1,000 of in the 5 years that I was a Whirlpool tech care guy. Because what would happen is the customer would fill it up too full, and little socks or all kinds of little things would fall, and they would raise up and fall in between the inner and outer tubs, and it would get down into the pump, and we'd have to replace the pump. And I never pull anything out of the pump, and you just got to be careful. So this right here is one of those items that you would have to be careful of. Okay. This is the Whirlpool Cabria not draining. Lay the washer on the back after disconnecting the hoses and the drain hose. Pump the washer out since it won't drain. That makes no sense of what I just said. So what happens is I have a little pump that I can unhook. I actually have a hose made for it, a drain hose, and I can drain it that way. Otherwise, I have to figure out a way, how am I going to drain this washing machine? Now, the one thing you got to be very careful of is, even though it looks like it's out of water, it's not out of water. It still has about 1 inch to 2 inches of water down there. And if I just go and start yanking it and laying it on its back, it's all going to run out in the customer's floor, and I look like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So what you're going to do is I'm going to drain that washing machine as much as I can. Then I'm going to lay the washer on the back. I have towels and a bucket that I usually carry around in my truck. I lay that on the back, and I can use my towels to catch any water that comes. Okay. Then I'm going to remove the drain pump if the motor runs. Check the impeller. Okay. So if you look at this impeller, this was an actual impeller that had snapped. The impeller itself, it made a heck of a racket whenever you fired it up. So that could be my problem. So if that's my problem, I'm going to have to replace the drain pump. And there's something what was in this one was a woman's underwire for her bra. That's what was in that one. It could have very easily have been screws. I don't know about you guys. My ex-wife used to scream at me because I would leave screws in my pocket and think that I had gotten everything out whenever I emptied my pockets, and there's undoubtedly a screw left in my pocket, and it gets out. Okay, so, but this one was an underwire, and it actually broke the pump. Okay, the washer won't spin. Okay, what are my problems that I'm going to get with my washer not spinning? Okay, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to place the washer on the front. So I have got to I've got to drain any water that could be in the unit. I'm going to have to turn the take the hoses off, and then take the drain out of the take the drain hose out of the drain, and then I'm going to place the washer on the front. Then I'm going to remove the screw in the center of the hub with a T40 Allen wrench. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to be able to remove that cover. Okay. That shows you right there where it is. Now, I actually have a set of Allen wrenches that is made for me to be able to put it onto my drill. So that may be something that you may want to invest in. It wasn't a whole lot of money, but that's something. It was like $19, and that was for a set of them. So I would need my T40 Allen wrench, and if I've got my drill and I've got my little socket that has this T40 on the end of it, I can just quickly take it out. Okay. And sorry. Okay. Oh, I know why I did that. I'm sorry. So before I do anything, I got to insert the flat bladed screwdriver. I've got to remove the cap, do all of that all over again, just like we've done. We've done the 7/16 bolt once again. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grasp the side of the washer so that I can keep it from turning. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this stator for cracks. So you see this one right here has cracks all the way. This one had like 3 or 4 cracks, big cracks. So I'm going to have to replace the stator. Okay. So I'm going to remove the 4 bolts. The plate will come off after removing the bolts there. So now I've got those removed. Okay. One thing you got to be very careful of, whenever I'm going to remove all of this, I'm going to be careful of that RPM sensor and that connector, because if I'm not careful, I will break it, and lo and behold, I got to replace it. Okay. When replacing the motor, be sure that the arrow is pointed in the correct direction. Okay. So I want to make sure that I have the arrow pointed correctly. Okay. So make sure that I take a picture of that before I take it off. Okay. Okay. So now, once I've done all this, okay, if I want to take everything out, if I want to get the motor out, I'm going to take those 2 1.5 inch bolts and that 10 millimeter screws. You can see where I put each one of those. Okay. The one thing that I will tell you is I would wear a set of gloves because those things are sharp. And even though your hands are calloused and everything else, you still can cut yourself. Okay. That is going to wind up what we have, but I want to get everybody to sit here and talk to me for just a minute. Okay. What do you do different from what I just talked about? Do you pretty much do the exact same thing that I do? I really like this idea of an air nailer, the palm nailer. Okay. I'm gonna go back because I have a palm nailer. I'm gonna go find my palm nailer and see if I can't see if that works on the next one that I do. So everybody, what do you do different than what we have talked about today? I realize this is a little bit difficult for you for us to talk back and forth, but let's work within the constraints of what we have. Does anybody have anything that they do differently? Okay, it looks like there's nothing else that people are doing that wasn't brought up in this. Okay, guys, next Thursday will be my last class that I do virtual training in. I don't know what it entails in the future. I believe they're going to cut back to one time a week, and then and there will be a different instructor. I have really enjoyed the over 2 years that I've been doing these virtual trainings. I wanted to thank everybody for your time. If you need anything, oh, goodness gracious. Hang on just 1 second. How in the world did my banner not come up? Okay. There is my phone number and my email. Okay. This is not anybody's phone number except for mine. It's my personal phone. My email is my personal email. So if you need something, go ahead and call me, but text me before you call, or text me to begin with. And then if you need it, send me an email, because I've always been trying to be here for you guys. If you guys need something, please reach out to me. Okay, everybody. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Everybody be careful. I have another class on Thursday, and then we will be discussing in that class. We will be discussing Magic Chef commercial products. There's a refrigerator out there that I'm trying to get all of the information that I can get on it, and then it will be on Thursday. We will have that class. Once again, thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'm going to ask you to spend another 2.5 minutes with me and read this, listen to this presentation.